Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. First of all, I hope you're doing well. I hope this Saturday is treating you well. I just came on here to give some updates, give some little quick tips. As I'm still in the process of change, I have already posted a video about the apartment and how that's coming. It's here, so it's a lot of change happening, and I am just that's exactly what I'm like. At first I was very stressed because let me tell you, one thing I've noticed that when change comes, first of all, it's crazy. It's like a tornado, right? So you don't know it's here until you're deep into fucking shadow work, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why am I so emotional? Why is all of this coming up all of a sudden? Then boom, the external starts to reflect shit going down. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? Okay? And so it be feeling, well, okay, we're changing the way we think about change, because if you think about it, we have been taught as kids that change is supposed to suck, right? You think about it, first we at home having fun with parents or just at home period, then boom, we're sent to school. Then we encounter kids who are like, why are you wearing that? Why do you look like that? So then we internalize we have to change in order to be accepted. And then we change from middle school to high school, and then it's just like a lot of changes, not to add on the traumatic changes we go through. So for me, moving from Tennessee to Oklahoma as a kid, then my brother dying, and then my dog dying, and then being forced into school, it's like, what the hell? How is change supposed to be helpful to me? I've only experienced it in the most negative ways possible. So there are some examples too. So I feel like early on we're just taught that change is not supposed to be something for you. It's supposed to be against you. And so sitting with that, I'm like, how? And this took a lot of shadow work for me to even get to this point. So the tips I'm about to give y'all, I had to go through the mud to get it from. Okay? So I don't know how to what's it called? Sign my name on the tips I'm about to give y'all, because I had to do the work. But this is something I'm about to give y'all because I feel like it's very helpful. And so rather than thinking of change as a head-on collision, how do we think of it as like a butterfly greeting? Because remember, change and transformation. Change shoots into transformation, right? So rather than a head-on collision and feeling like it's this big, gigantic monster that's coming to get us, y'all, I promise I'm not naked. It's just a small top. Rather than change feeling like a head-on collision, how do we make it into a butterfly greeting? And I'm going to give y'all this example before I get into how we do that. Bro, I was painting my nails, right? This was originally green. I said in my head, I want the thumb to be red. But I ended up coloring it green. And I colored it, put the nail polish on it, let it dry a little bit. Bro, I be doing the weirdest. I'm like, how did my hand even touch this right? Like, how did my hand even touch it? And so my hand would like scrape the ground. The green would come off. I'm like, okay, that's annoying. Let me recoat it. Recoat it. Let it dry again. Then I get to moving, and it rubs against my thigh. Rubs off. I'm like, I didn't even mean to touch my thigh. Now you pissing me off. Nah, do it again. It's a second motorcycle. So I recoat it anyways. I recoat it. Rubs off a third time. I'm like, alright, you done pissed me off for real now. But then I think back, and I'm like, no. This whole time the green has been wanting to come off because I said I want red. That I want red. And you see how cute this red is? So change sometimes is going to come in many different ways that may actually piss us off, but it is because change is not here to make us settle. Change is actually here to wipe all the shit off that is forcing us to settle to get what it is that we asked for. Change is here to take us to another level, to receive whatever it is that we're asking for. So it'll be pissy because it's like, well, I done built all this. I done already put my nail polish off. But it is for the purpose of getting you what you asked for. This is why change should be seen as a butterfly greeting rather than a head-on collision. Because if I see it as a head-on collision, I'd be pissed the whole day because my nail polish keeps coming off. But instead, if I see it as a butterfly greeting, I understand that, oh, okay, the green just keeps coming off because I had already told myself I wanted red. And what I'm doing now is settling. And change is not for you settling. Let me say that. Change is not like settling. So, change is going to force you to see where you are settling, and change is going to burn that shit to the ground and tell you to start over, because we're at a different level. We're at a different level. So, after all of that, let me go ahead and give you what I wrote down. So, C. They should have me on a commercial. C is for a commercial. Get Alexandria on a commercial. All right, C is for challenge your beliefs. I have noticed that when things are changing, my beliefs that I already have about certain situations, about certain things, is not going to fly. I have to reevaluate. Because if I don't, I'm going to keep seeing this problem with no solution simply because my beliefs are not willing to change. Sometimes we are set in our beliefs that the things we are asking for require us to reevaluate. So my idea, let me give y'all a brief thing. So on my Instagram, I talk about this too. So if you want the full breakdown, go to my live, Indigo Drea, XX, y'all got it. Anyways, so for example, for me, I feel like I have to do the most. I got to go big or go home every time. If I want something to come into my reality, I got to go big or go home, or it's not going to happen at all. But that's not true, right? It's not true at all. So for me, I have to challenge the belief that I have to be perfect for things to work out, because it's not true. And it's actually hindering me from receiving and taking the small steps that I need to take in order to make shit happen, right? Because if one thing about me, if I feel like I cannot go big or go home, I won't do shit at all. I would. We gotta manifest new behaviors and patterns as well. If I felt like I cannot go big or go home, I'm going home and I'm not doing it, right? And it's like, no, as long as you take the small steps to get to wherever it is you're trying to get to, that still matters. That's still energy. And so for me, I had to challenge that belief. Let me get to the next one. H. When you're going through change, you got to figure out what habits are no longer going where you are going, right? If I know I'm going to be booked and busy, that I'm booked and busy, I cannot be late. I can't do that anymore. I got to get rid of that habit, because being late means that I'm not taking it as a priority. And if people are paying me for my time, it has to be seen as a priority. So I have to get rid of the habit of being late. So you figure out what habits are no longer deserving of being in your place of where you want to go. Change is going to force you actually to see those habits that no longer have a place. So I'm just inviting you to do the work before change makes you do the work and you run around with your head cut off. I'm just making it a little bit clear of kind of how it goes. A. Actions reap benefits. What small action can you take to make space for change? So this is just figuring out what small thing can you do today that is going to make change easier for you, right? That could be, so for me, as far as moving into my new house, okay, what small action can I take? I can start packing up. It's the small actions that lead to the big, it's the small actions that lead to the grand manifestations. There we go. It's the small actions that lead to the grand manifestations. So when you take those small actions, it makes more space for change and you become more receptive because you are already putting in the work. Does that make sense? N, negotiate what you're willing to lose to gain. Negotiate what you're willing to sacrifice. If you're an artist, if you're a creator, you're going to have to lose the friends that are limiting, that have many limiting beliefs, right? As a creator, it's my job to be expansive, which means I have to also be around people who are expansive. I cannot be around people who cannot even dream past the fucking bed. I hope y'all got that. And I crack myself up. But I cannot be around people who dream in a box. I have to be around people who have expansive dreams, whose dreams go beyond just go beyond, right? So that's for me personally what I have to sacrifice. That's what I have to lose to gain. I have to lose people who do not resonate with my energy in order to gain more expansive people where I can grow. So ask yourself what you're willing to lose to gain. G. Gentleness with self. Because this process can be uncomfortable. And it can be less uncomfortable the nicer you are and the more gentle and patient and kind to yourself you are, right? You cannot force a child to change and then be mean to the child in the process of change, right? The child won't change. And actually, you'll leave a negative impact, adding on to the difficulty of accepting change, right? So when you are talking to yourself, you have to think of yourself as a child. Inherently, you are a child at heart. And so when you're going through the process of change, you cannot beat yourself up and beat yourself down because you made a mistake or because something didn't go the way you expected. You have to be gentle and kind with yourself throughout this whole process. Okay? That is actually what speeds it up, because the more gentle you are, the more room you leave. I hope y'all see Percy. He's been going ham on this plant, and I'm sick of it. So if y'all see me get up, it's because I got to go get him down because he wants to be a plant murderer. Look at him looking at me because he already know. And you better not start. Anyways, gentleness with self. Oh, so you can do things like, I'm like, where am I even at? Because I got to watch him. Y'all, he has been going ham on that plant. It's not even mine. So I kind of have been kind of low on patience. I'm trying with him, but as long as he's not on the plant. Anyways, giving yourself affirmations, doing things that make you feel good, etc. So, last one is going to be E. Evolve and overcomes. This is usually the final stage of change. You step back and look at the whole process, and you will see that you have evolved in this very beautiful and magnificent way. And so, yes, you just see the evolution that has happened because of this essence called change. So, challenge your beliefs. See what habits have no place in where you're going. See what small actions you can take to reap benefits. Negotiate what you're willing to lose or gain. Have gentleness for yourself and evolve. Okay? So yes, these are some tools that I've learned in order to, make the process easier, better the process. Yes, because change can be difficult, or change can be difficult and uncomfortable, or it can just be uncomfortable but overcoming and a very insightful experience. It can be a very insightful experience. And so those are just some tools that are going to help me in the future, because I had to experience before I even got to that point. But those are some tools that are going to help me in the future. I know for sure to just take my time. Especially if I feel like I've been whiplashed by change, the last thing I want to do is rush myself into a certain area, because it just makes me feel stagnant and just not good. So, yes, I hope you enjoyed those little tools. I want to know, what change are you experiencing in your life? Where are you experiencing it? Because y'all are very insightful. Y'all be having big brains and in tune. So I want to hear, because I could still use some tools too. And let me know what change has been happening for you. How are you handling it? And where are you going with it? You may not know where you're going, and that's okay too. You don't even have to answer that one. But if you do know, if you don't know, let me know. Okay, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.